Oh my god, my hair, you look like you could fry some fries up in there. Good thing we're all self-quarantined, so no one's gonna see it. Hey guys, it's Kate, and today I am going to be doing a video talking about what it's like to travel right now. I'm not gonna be saying the name of what's going on right now because YouTube is trying to demonetize everything, so I'm not gonna mention it, but you'll all know what I'm talking about, okay? Everybody here knows what I'm talking about. I just got back from a 1-week vacation to Florida, and I always do this. I do this twice a year. I go for Christmas and I go for March break. I already had my tickets and stuff planned like months prior to this, so this was before the whole was going on. I was gonna cancel my trip because I go with my family and I cherish the time that I spend with my family. I'm a big family girl, so I didn't want to risk not being able to spend that time with my family. So, and also the sickness wasn't as bad. So I was on a week trip for Florida. I know it's a non-essential trip. I shouldn't have gone, but I did because I'm going crazy in Canada with this weather. So I really just needed an escape. I needed a break. Although I was very cautious the entire time, me and my entire family were completely cautious. We'd wash our hands every time. We'd literally wash our hands every time we touched something. We had hand sanitizer. We did everything we can. We had Lysol wipes. We made sure everything was spick and span. We weren't touching anything. And so the trip was great. Felt very weird. Everything just kind of felt off. It didn't really feel like a vacation. It kind of felt like, I don't know, like people in Florida, it was kind of like half and half. People cared and half people didn't really care about it. People were just going about their normal day. Some people would just go touch things and then immediately touch their mouth right after. Oh my god, I saw so many people do that and I was mortified. But then there was other people that weren't trying to touch things and were trying to be as clean as possible. Like I would use my elbows. You know how some gates have those little things that you have to lift up and then you have to push the gate? I would take my elbows, get the little thingy, lift it up, and then have someone push the gate open. Yeah. You know, elbows do a lot of work. You know, they are actually useful for things. Who would thunk? I would have never knew if I didn't have to open a gate with my elbows. So enough of the trip, let's talk about what the airports are like at the moment. So me and Nathan, we traveled together. We traveled out of Toronto Pearson, and when we first went to go, airports were actually surprisingly really busy. Like there was a lot of people leaving to go places that were like Canadians, like traveling to places, and so there was a big lineup. We like put our bags on and everything. We saw so many people wearing masks and gloves, but craziest thing, I literally only saw like 2 hand sanitizer stations. Like I'm not even kidding. Like not even in the bathrooms was there hand sanitizer. There was not. There was like no hand sanitizer everywhere. It was insane. You couldn't find a little fucking automatic station. You couldn't do that because they were nowhere. I was like, what is going on? We're in a pandemic right now and y'all don't have any hand sanitizer dispenser stations? Come on, get with the program, okay? Get with the fucking program. People are touching shit. Airports are the biggest breeding ground for bacteria and germs and shit. You should have hand sanitizers literally centimeters apart so that everybody can sanitize themselves at all times. Anyways, that's besides the point. So, when we were first traveling, lots of people wearing masks, lots of people wearing gloves and stuff. Nathan and I brought a pack of Lysol wipes and we went to go sit down somewhere and eat. So we wiped down our table, we wiped down everything that we were touching. We wiped down like the little iPad thingy that you like order your food on. Surprisingly, at Toronto Pearson, there was a lot of people like sitting close to people. Like there was not very much self-distancing or social distancing going on in the airport whatsoever. No one was really minding that you should be staying away from as many people as possible. Everyone was just kind of crowded and clustered and everything was, you know, people were coughing out in the open. People weren't covering their coughs like this. I saw literally me and Nathan got caught behind some lady on, you know, like those like automatic walking thingies in the airports. We got caught behind some lady and she was just like the entire time, didn't cover her mouth or anything, and I'm just like, I look at Nathan and I'm like, and we try to like cover our mouths and like oh my god, who doesn't cough into their freaking elbow? Who? Like, who raised you? Heathens? So that happened many times and that was scary. I know it was probably just like a normal cough, common cold cough, but still, if you're coughing, cough into your elbow. Don't cough into the air where people are walking into behind you. Oh, another thing, when we were going through security at Toronto Pearson, we didn't have to take our shoes off, which we usually always have to take your shoes off. I think that's just kind of like a sanitary thing that they're trying to stop people from getting, because like you could probably get it from the floor, so like they didn't want to like risk it, so everybody kept their shoes on and put like their bags and everything else into the little bins. And everybody, all of the workers, like the border security people, they're all wearing gloves and like trying not to touch things as much as possible. So yeah, we got through security, everything was fine in security. We sanitized ourselves and everything, that was fine. And we went to go to our like gate or whatever to wait for our plane. The entire like waiting area was like packed. People were sitting beside each other, people were like touching each other, and I'm just like, oh my god, get me away. And then I found like a seat, like a couple seats that were like away from people, and we kind of just like sat there by ourselves away from the other people. And then we got on the plane. I had to hold my pee in for 3 hours straight. That was no fun. And we got to the Fort Myers airport, which is where we were flying into. Didn't like get asked any questions when we were getting off the plane. Like, no one asked us at the Fort Myers airport if we were feeling sick or anything, or so nothing like that happened. We just literally got our bags and then left. And then we had our trip or whatever for a week, and then we had to go home the next Wednesday. I think we came on the 11th of March and we got back the 18th, which was Wednesday. We're flying from Fort Myers to Toronto Pearson. The airport in Fort Myers, there was literally a half-an-hour line just to check your bags, just for Air Canada. Half-an-hour line, because the day before we were traveling, Trudeau or Ford or said something like, we need to, any Canadians that are abroad should come home now before you can't come home. So we were fine because we already had our flight planned for the next day, so we were okay. But everybody else, I'm assuming, was just like all rushing to the airport and trying to get home and just panicking, because everyone is in a state of panic right now. Everyone's fucking panicking. And so we got there, we waited half an hour to check our bags in, and then after that we had to wait another like 45 minutes in a line. Actually, it was more like an hour in the line just to go through security. The security line was insanely long, it took forever. We got through security. They actually made us take our shoes off in Fort Myers. We had to take our shoes off in Fort Myers. We went through everything like normal. After being on the plane for 3 hours home, we finally got off the plane and landed in Toronto Pearson. And as soon as we landed in Toronto Pearson, we were trying to get the fuck out of there, because like we realized like Toronto Pearson is probably going to be a breeding ground for the virus right now. So we wanted to get the fuck out of there. We wanted to get our bags and we wanted to go. We wanted to go home. We had a car that we were going to go pick up, and that's all we were worried about. We just wanted our bags and to leave. Our bags took like half an hour to get to it, like to come out on the thing. So Nathan and I were really like, Nathan and I were worried because we didn't know like what the extensive tests and measures that Toronto Pearson was claiming that they were making. So like we didn't know what was gonna happen. We didn't know if we were gonna be like taken off to the side and like medically screened, like each and every individual person. Yeah, no, that's not what they're doing. That is not what they're doing at all. So we got home like 3 days ago. I don't know if anything has changed, but when Nathan and I went to the customs officer to like declare or whatever and go through, he asked us two questions. The first question was, do you have any symptoms? Do you feel sick? We said no. He goes, okay. Have you come in contact with anyone that might be sick? we said no, because how the fuck are we supposed to know? So weird, like ask those two questions, we said no for both of them because that was our answer. And he was like, okay, so you guys just have to stay at home for 2 weeks and self-quarantine. And I was like, okay, is that recommended or is that mandatory? And then he was like, well, it's mandatorily recommended. We just kind of want everyone to stay home. And I was like, okay, fair, like that's fine. I was just trying to make sure, because I need to work, I need to make some money. So I was just trying to double check that I absolutely can't go to work. And I couldn't. That's it. They asked us those 2 questions, said stay home for 2 weeks, and then we were on our way and we left. That was it. They were handing out little like virus info sheets, so like you can like, that tells you what the symptoms are, what you'd be feeling, and whatever. That way, in case you do feel like you may have it, you just refer to that sheet and then you decide whether or not you think you have it. I'm just so glad to be home. I'm on my like 3rd day of quarantine right now and I'm going crazy. I started watercoloring pictures and you know those little like oil pastel crayons? I'm pastel crayoning things, that's fun. But other than that, I'm going insane. I don't know what to do. Leave video ideas that you guys would like to see me do. I'm not staying at my house. I'm just filming at my house right now because I wanted to have a nice background. I'm actually staying at Nathan's house with Nathan because Nathan and I were traveling together, so we're quarantining together, and plus I don't have anything in my house at the moment. All of my food and stuff is at Nathan's, so that's where I'm quarantining. And I think everybody should do their part and stay at home for 2 weeks, like self-quarantine, do what you need to do, because the longer we don't self-quarantine and the longer more people are out and exposed, the longer we're going to have to self-quarantine, because the longer the virus is going to be around. You know, just stay home. Just stay home, just do it. So basically, traveling right now, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not a good idea. Just stay home, stay inside, stay safe, wash your hands. Yeah, don't travel. I'm gonna go back to Nathan's and I'm going to probably do some more watercoloring. Okay. Have a fun quarantine, guys. Leave videos down below that you guys would like to see me do during my quarantine because I have nothing else to do. Alright, I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Self-isolate. Goodbye. Peace out. Missing someone.